just so vulnerable, so exposed. I don't even ever want to check luggage again. I can't even believe this hell. It's a mistake, you know. If a belt breaks down and your suitcase doesn't wind up on the plane with you. I actually asked the 800 number rep how that happens. How does the luggage not arrive, not wind up on the plane with the passenger? And she's like, oh, there could be so many reasons. Of course, I'm asking these questions after I find out that at the airport, the person didn't file my claim, despite saying, so first, I apparently commit the crime of the century, okay, at the airport. If you know where I live, then you know what airport. Okay. At the airport, my destination, me and Omar, he had to do his business in the pet relief area, and I had to go to the bathroom. So by the time I got to the luggage place, the spinning thing, you know, the baggage claim, baggage, you know, I was the last one there, and there was no luggage. So I go to the place where you go to complain. There was 4 employees sitting in there. It wasn't a huge thing, and I committed the crime of, if I had to wait in line, then I would reach someone and say, yeah, where's my luggage? There was nobody that was doing anything in there. There was no one in there but them. So it's small, and I just opened the door. And of course I'm all upset. So I'm like, where's my luggage? And all right, so I shouldn't have. That's not professional or whatever. So this little asshole, this guy, was like, the way he talked to me, I'm surprised he has a job. Really, seriously. He's like, this is what he was. He's like, I'm a person, you know. You don't talk to me like that. And going on, and meanwhile I'm near tears because I don't know where my luggage is. But at this point I didn't know what had happened. I just knew that I didn't see it anywhere. And of course, me being me, I'm sorry, but can you please, where's my luggage, okay? All right, technically, but this people they deal with are people missing their luggage, and maybe they're not always going to talk in a proper manner, and you know, it's not like I came in ranting and raving and swearing like, where's my fucking luggage? I was like, you know, I'm in a panic. I'm like, where's my luggage? And he didn't like that, so he went on. He's the employee, but of course he's like, he actually said that to me. He's like, I'm a person, you know, and you need to show me respect. That's what he's saying to me. On those lines, he definitely said, I'm a person. Uh-oh, chip on the shoulder here. Okay, let's tread lightly, Laura. We want our luggage. So I apologize. I'm like, I'm sorry. Where's my luggage? Where's my luggage? That's why Joe doesn't want me here anymore, there with him anymore. He can't take Omar. Can't stand him. He essentially said that he was naming family members of his who everyone loved and who were saints and who were not saints, but, and he's like, even so-and-so, God bless her heart, dead in the grave, whatever, wouldn't be able to deal with that dog, Laura. He views dogs as beasts. He even told me before, you know, your dog would, if you were dead, your dog would eat you. He's a beast. That's why he shits and pisses. That's why you're his slave. And meanwhile, I tell Joe I have a moral obligation to Omar. So Joe just doesn't get it. I could never leave Omar with my mother, even if he wasn't dead in a week, which I suspect would happen. I can't do that to my mom. I've had Omar for 14 years. I mean, 14 and some change, and it's not fair to her. He's elderly, he's old, and she'd be the one faced with maybe having to put him to sleep, but she wouldn't know whether to do it, or it would break her. That's not, Omar is my responsibility. I have a moral responsibility to that dog, and that's, and Joe just can't take it. His job is really hard. He's working 40 hours a week. He says all my time is caught up with my mom's drama and Omar, and there's no time for Joe, and he just doesn't want me there. Anyhow, back to the luggage. So the woman says to me, do you want to file? Of course I want to file a claim. So she gives me a form, and she writes down report number. It says on the top report number. She highlights it. I said, where's my luggage? Because I wasn't even dealing with him anymore. And he actually made smart-ass comments. When I wasn't dealing with him, remember, he was the initial one, and he went and he said, your luggage isn't here. Because at first he sent me to the other carousel, and I said, no, there's no luggage. And then he looked himself, he said, okay. But I had arranged a taxi to take me home. Okay. So I had called them because I had allowed extra time in case I had to take Omar. It took me longer time to find the pet relief station, whatever, and I allowed for extra time. But then I was like, I'm here early. But then this all happened, of course, because, so. While I'm talking to this woman and asking questions, I've never dealt with this before. The asshole was rude to me already. A chip on his shoulder a mile high. I said, so if my luggage is my destination out of state, if my luggage is there, where is it going to stay tonight? You know what that guy said? Oh, it's going to stay in a 5-star hotel. Motherfucker. He shouldn't have his job. Smart-ass motherfucker. I'm serious. I don't say that about everybody. Sometimes people have a bad day. This is a guy who shouldn't have his job. He's in customer service. He's dealing with people who are frantic because they lost their luggage and it's not there. And, in my case, I forgot to lock my suitcase. I found locks, but I was rushing around and whatever, and I forgot to lock my suitcase. So now it has spent 2 days elsewhere, not locked. Anyone and their mother could go through it. I would never know. And it's 50 pounds of stuff that was important enough for me to take here. Okay? When I thought I would be going back. Turns out, this woman who said, your luggage is going to be on our next flight, and it'll be okay. It's going to stay overnight there. It's going to go on the next day's flight. Don't worry about it. I said, are you sure it's there? She's like, well, I'm showing in the computer. Yeah, it was left behind. Something happened with the belt. Okay, whatever. Things happen. Okay, thus far. And she's sure. I said, I can't pick it up. I don't have a car. She's like, no, we'll deliver it. She took down my name, my phone number, my address, my email address, everything. Okay, everything. This is JetBlue, and I've been a member for a long time. Okay, took down all my info, including my phone number. Okay. She gave me this thing, if you have any questions, you can call. And I was saying, well, what questions would I have? You've answered everything. But it was later, because I know when the flight was going to leave, and I decided to call just to see. Even if it's not going to be delivered today, I needed to know someone that it was here in Massachusetts. I needed to know. Okay, I needed to know. So I call up, and and she says, do you have a claim number? Oh, yeah, I have a claim number. It's right up here. It says report number. And I read it, and she's like, that's not a claim number. I'm like, what? She's like, that woman didn't file a claim who you dealt with. And I said, no, it says report number. It has to be. She's like, no, it would start with this. It wouldn't be that. Turns out this woman who left and right reassured me my bag would be delivered today. And she seemed like she knows she blah, 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 whatever. No, she didn't do her job. What she gave me was simply something, I guess the state, my destination, they filed a claim, but, I'm sorry, my original, where I started from, That airport, they filed a claim. Apparently my destination was supposed to file a claim since they're the ones who were going to receive it late. And some people like to pick it up themselves. Nope. So it arrived, and I called hours later just to make sure the claim was never filed. Spoke to a really nice woman. I'm like, you're kidding me? She's like, no, it wasn't filed. I'm like, oh my God, I'm filing a major complaint. Major complaint. Okay. So at this time, this person filed a claim. Said you'll hear from someone in a couple hours. I was about to call back again because it had been 3 hours and I hadn't heard from anybody. And then I get a call from the local one. And then I'm talking to someone who, the asshole and the incompetent one, the incompetent female who wasn't a jerk, but she didn't do her job. She didn't know what she was doing. And then the asshole who had treated me badly and was even making smart comments, but I'm no longer dealing with him. I mean, you got to be kidding me, right? Meanwhile, I get out. I have to call the taxi that was waiting for me that I prepaid, and I'm crying my eyes out. I said, I'm sorry, my luggage is gone. It's not here. It's in. It got left behind, and whatever. And this took and everything. So then, of course, it gets worse. Now I'm left with your luggage will definitely be delivered sometime tomorrow, and they have plenty of time to do it, right? But I call. The claim was never filed, right? I get a call, and this person, because they closed this, whoever this company is, and they said, like, they come every hour. You should get it tonight, but if not tomorrow, right? So she left me with that because the claim was never filed. If it had been filed, they would have got it first thing, but they don't even know that about it. And apparently, they were trying to call a different number, my old number, that I tried to change on the JetBlue online, but it doesn't matter because if my claim had been filed, they have my fucking phone number. So she somehow found the phone number. She should never have called me back again because she led me to believe it'll probably be tomorrow morning. I've resigned myself to that. She calls me at 10 o'clock and says, I have good news that they're going to deliver you. And then she tries to deny it. I'm going to start recording everybody. I hate when something doesn't come true the way, and you know, I ran out to tell my mom, my luggage is coming tonight, watch out for it. Then this woman says, no, I said they were going to try to. I said, what time? Then she wouldn't even I said, what time did they pick it up? They picked it up at 10. I said, why, when you said they come every hour, and I talked to you in the late afternoon, why did they pick it up an hour before they... And apparently she tried to convince them and say, you need to deliver this person's luggage. And they probably just wanted her off their back. She was trying for me. She even said something about medication. I said, I didn't have medication in there. She's like, well, I told them they really need your luggage. You already went a night without it. They didn't care. They must have humored her because they did not deliver my luggage. And if I don't get it tomorrow morning, I'm going to fucking just... I feel helpless, I feel vulnerable, I feel stupid because I didn't lock it. But originally I thought I'd put my camera in it, my good camera. And then I was devastated. I was crying my eyes out to Joe. I stupidly made they didn't put them in, and then they could go through it. It just not logged, and it turned out, at the very least, it didn't have my camera, but it had 50 pounds of stuff. It had books and all my jockey underwear, 30 pair of clothes, and my blow dryer, and vitamins, and his stuff, and his dog food, and his, or something, maybe not that I mailed that, but you know what I mean, it's like, so I still don't have my luggage, because somebody was, it's scary when someone seems to know what they're doing, and they say, yeah, if you have a problem, call here, and we're going to deliver it tomorrow, and took all my info and didn't file a claim like she was supposed to do. And I'm sitting here being patient and waiting. And then I thought, well, maybe I'll check in and try just for the hell of it and see, make sure at least it reached my here, you know, even if I don't get it today for whatever reason. But now I'm so furious because, and I told this woman, I said, I'm filing a major complaint. Why are you going to file a claim? I was trying for you all afternoon. Yeah, you were trying for me, but you shouldn't have got my hopes up at 10 o'clock at night. Telling me and then deny it and say, no, I said they were going to try. No, you called me. You told me that they would call if they were coming. Otherwise, they wouldn't come till tomorrow. And I never thought I'd hear from you again in my life. When I get a call from 10, you got my hopes up. You shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have got my hopes up. I resigned myself to get it tomorrow. It's getting later and later. Call me. But when you called me, apparently they just had gotten it, and you told them how important it was, and they didn't give a fuck. I've just been put through the ringer. Joe was screaming at me in the car. I'm like, Joe, I'm right here. When I'm not mad at you, when I get too loud, you say stop yelling at me, but you're screaming at me in the car because you're not listening. You don't need to scream at me. I'm right beside you. Plus, it makes me nervous, people yelling and driving at me. That's for another time. Texts say 1,000 words. I'm so upset about my luggage. It's just ridiculous. I never have had a problem with JetBlue ever. I bet tons of people are having problems now. When I was trying to get these flights back, trying to get different flights a week ago, and I wound up ordering the wrong flight because I was tired. I wound up doing the wrong way. I canceled that flight within 24 hours, and I canceled the JetBlue flight. But then the following week, it had the same itinerary up when I logged into my account, and I stupidly made a flight for the same day. I'm out hundreds of dollars for stupidity. And the woman I was talking to about, she's like, maybe we'll choose the JetBlue. I'm like, they don't owe me shit. If I booked a flight a few hours ahead of time because I thought it was going to be first the following Sunday and the 4th, and I booked it stupidly. If I'm that stupid, I deserve to be out a few $100s. Confess, stupid. Did some stupid things. Stupid. Kick myself stupid. The other flight, I wound up canceling because I decided not to go because she was driving me crazy. I'm like, I'm never going, but now I know Joe and I need a break from one another. And he finally acknowledged what I've known, but he won't admit to himself because he wants to be a good person. It's too much for him. He can't stand it. He says, you and I don't get along. You know what? Our core values are the same. We've been friends for decades. We look at the world in similar ways. It's a cop-out to say we don't get along. We need to acknowledge that each of us comes from a drastically different childhood and has different triggers and different things, okay? He grew up in just in love and in keeping everything spotless and not dysfunction and not chaos, and also, but he'll say, well, in my childhood it was okay to open someone's door and put something in there. I said, I don't like you opening the door. You see mess and you don't like it. I like my privacy. If my door's closed, it's closed for a reason. I usually have it open. And you shouldn't have done that. And he just but it's a cop-out for someone like me and Joe to say, oh, we just don't get along. That's why when I was going to end our friendship, I went to him with tears in my eyes because he would not acknowledge that he was being abusive towards me, that he can't do that he can't get down here right now. You don't talk to me like that ever. Well, we talked to each other like that when we were growing up, and it wasn't abuse. It's just how it was. That's you. Then you come from a different environment, a different whatever. I come from an abusive environment, and you sent my PTSD and anxiety through the roof, screaming at me at the top of your lungs when I had checked everything out and thought there's nothing that's going to upset him, reminiscent of my father. And when I heard that, oh my God. And if we were equals, that's the problem too with me and Joe. If we were equals, and he said, get down here right now and clean up this mess by the door, I'd be like, fuck you, I'll do it in the morning. And then he's like, he's like, well, you could say that anyway. No, I can't. It's your home, Joe. You've never not let me forget. You never let me forget that it's your home. You never let me, not feel that way. So he essentially, I said, if there was no Omar, would you still want me there? And he's like, yeah. Despite you saying we don't get along, No, it's Omar. He can't stand the dog. He doesn't have pets. He doesn't like them in the house. He believes in a dog to be outside as a guard dog and say maybe he can come in the house once in a while. But Omar just cries and whines and howls, and he's 24/7, and he had to take, and Joe just can't deal with it. And the hair, he can't stand the hair, and he can't stand if Omar goes to the bathroom in the cage, which he doesn't normally do, but it can happen. And he says we can't even develop our friendship. You're anxious over the dog all the time. It's the dog, the dog, the dog. I'm trying to talk to you, and the dog cries, and you have to run up so he doesn't go to the bathroom in the cage. Yeah, but again, if we had our own home and we were equals, and it wasn't your home, it wouldn't be the end of the world if you went to the bathroom in the cage. Like it won't be the end of the world here. Okay. I walk on eggshells because it's your home, Joe, and you never let me forget that. No luggage, but at least my camera was in the correct suitcase.